Hello, Internet, and welcome to the Riley and Friends podcast, the show where I talk to my friends Corinne and Gabe about basically whatever we want as long as it relates to media of some sort. So did any of y'all have anything that you've played, watched, listened to, or read recently that you want to discuss?
I'm trying to think. I finally watched Quantum Mania.
What did you think of Quantum Mania?
Okay, so I've never been the biggest fan of the Ant-Man movies. I liked the first one was fun because it had a fun cast of characters. The second one had a lot of plot holes, and so I was like,
but it was so silly though.
Yeah.
I related to the second one.
Yeah.
I related to the villain quite a bit.
I like the silliness a lot of the second one.
Yeah, I like that they're silly. I've always had problems with the plot holes in Ant-Man. Because I like that they're silly. And I can suspend disbelief. But then I walk away from the movie and I'm like, wait a minute.
You can't pull threads on Marvel movies. The threads will collapse.
Yeah. And for some reason, the Ant-Man movies, they always get me with the thread pull later. I'm like, but hold on a second. I become Columbo. And one more thing. But I did like that Quantum Mania solved one of the plot holes from the second movie. Because the biggest plot hole for me in the second movie was that Mother Ant-Man,
Janet
Van Dyne.
Mommy Ant-Man.
That's becoming something different.
That's got problematic energy to it.
It really does.
Janet was in the quantum realm for 30 years or whatever, however long she was there. She physically aged, so her cells were deteriorating and changing. She aged, she did not stay the same age. And yet she was portrayed as being in a place where there was literally nothing. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, if you're in a place that's literally nothing, there's nothing to eat or survive on, and you are physically aging, that means your cells are dying and reproducing, which means you need food. How did you? Yeah, but it really bothered me.
This is the when did they poop in the movie thing.
Yeah, no, but it really bothered me because she aged. If she hadn't aged, or if there had been literally anything shown in the quantum realm as being food or just life, I would have been okay, she can live there for 30 years or whatever. But Quantum Mania actually does fix that problem. Because it shows that there was the layer of the quantum realm that she was found in was not the entire quantum realm. There was a place where there was life. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's fine then. You've answered my question from 10 years ago, which I don't like that they have to fill a plot hole that far in the future.
They're kind of doing that though. They're oh, remember this thing you've never thought about since? Hey.
Yeah, and I'm glad they fixed it because that was my major problem with the second Ant-Man movie, and it really bothered me for some reason. I don't know why. I was constantly but how?
But then they couldn't have Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, and she was excellent, and I liked her.
The real plot hole with Ant-Man is that if you actually do shrink to that size, you will literally not be able to breathe.
Yeah.
Let's not examine these things, Riley.
he does wear a suit usually though, so I assume the suit is helping with the breathing.
Well, I was thinking more Janet.
Oh yeah.
If you shrink down to that
being in the quantum realm, how
not
do you
even breathe, let alone flirt with Bill Murray.
Exactly. I love the inclusion of Bill Murray in Quantum Mania. I thought
the story behind that? It's even better.
No, what happened? How did he get there?
So he's friends with Michael Douglas and just asked him, "Hey, can I be in this movie?"
Oh, that's so fun.
And then they're like, "Yeah,
you can."
You're Bill Murray. You can come into this movie.
You can do whatever you want to do. You're Bill Murray.
You're Bill Murray. Yeah, no. So I mostly enjoyed Quantumanium for what it was. I liked that it answered the question that I had from the second movie, which, how survive this long in Place with Nothing? Oh, it's not Place with Nothing. You actually lived a long, full life down here. That's fun. That's a fun little side thing. But I felt like at the ending, there kept being moments where I was like, okay, how about you just go through there.
They were being a little bit of a pansy with the ending. Like, I think we all kind of thought, Riley, I'm sure you had the same thought. They gave us a good hero moment with Ant-Man and Wasp, and then they're like, just kidding.
Yeah, like the ending went on too long.
Like, you were almost brave. Just this close.
You were so
almost
close.
really brave, and then you just fixed it. Like the ending, it was, whatever. But the rest of the movie, pretty fun. I think I enjoyed it more than a lot of Ant-Man movies. I think I'd have to watch them all in sequence to figure out like which one I like better, because it's been so long since I've watched one. But I remember liking the first one. The second one, that major plot hole bugged me the entire time, so I couldn't enjoy it. But maybe if I went back and watched it now, I'd be like, oh, I know what she's doing.
2 is my favorite because it was the silliest.
Yeah. For me, I love 2. It was both silly, and I related to the villain's disability themes.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The villain was actually somebody to root for in that as well.
Ghost was great. Like, I loved Ghost. It's, like, fantastic. Wonderful character. And I'm glad we're going to see her in Thunderbolts again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see more of Ghost.
Ghost DC.
No, we're done with that. It's just Ghost now.
Just Ghost. We're... on the topic of that, I'm super excited for Thunderbolts. Like, there's not a lot of upcoming Marvel stuff that I'm excited for, but...
There's one big one.
Which one?
It's Deadpool with Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, yes. But do we have a date for that yet, even?
They just pushed it back to July because the strike is over!
Okay.
And, like, actually, we're not in SAG, but we could have...
Now that we have a date.
We're pro worker here.
Wildly, it's the only film on the whole year for Marvel next year.
Oh.
That could change, but right now, they're probably going to have some TV shows to fill in.
Yeah. I'm excited for Deadpool with Wolverine. Yes. Because that is going to be a good time no matter what.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. I'm excited for Thunderbolts, which I don't remember the date for that, but it does have a date.
Yeah, they moved it again. I don't
remember the current date.
It's not happening, so 2025.
Yeah, which is a bummer, but I get it. Because I'm excited for Thunderbolts because I like it's all the interesting characters in one team. Like all the really interesting characters that you've seen throughout this throughout the series so far, really. All just on one team, and I'm really excited to see what probably is going to be Bucky Barnes trying to wrangle a bunch of semi-supervillains.
Oh yeah, it's their Suicide Squad for sure.
Yeah, it's like their Suicide Squad, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're just seeing all these characters that they were so great in their own movies as like side characters. I hope they get the chance to shine as the main team.
That's kind of the early days of Marvel's greatest hits. Is doing
yeah. It's like a greatest hits look back. Like, hey, remember all these really cool characters? Now they're all together. They're the star of this movie.
My only thing with Ant-Man 3 was Luis wasn't in it. I'm like, we need him to recap everything that happens ever.
That was what I missed about Ant-Man 3, the Luis recap. I wanted the story to be told from Luis's perspective somehow.
Could have just been one scene. You just needed to do a little bit of a recap for me.
Yeah. It could have just had Luis at the end, then being like...
Wait, how did you do this?
Yeah. Explain it to me.
That's like the only thing I accomplished this week is I've caught up on the Marvel universe.
I still have not seen Loki.
Oh, if you love the first season.
I need to watch the next season of Loki. That's on the list. I haven't watched Secret
Invasion.
That is not fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I heard, and that's why I haven't watched it yet. I'm like, do I need to watch it? Thoughts, Gabe? Do I need to watch it?
No, you do not.
Okay.
If you're a completionist like me and you have a weird brain disorder that makes you do it, then yes.
See, I'm a completionist, but it just sounds so bad.
It is. I have like 3 video essays I want to do on why it's so bad. But
go ahead, Riley. I'm sure you have better things to say.
And that's kind of why I, have not really started Loki season 2 is because I'm like, I just don't want to go. I can't go through that again. I cannot go through another secret invasion.
I promise you, it is not. It is
Okay.
good. It is really, really good.
Okay. And I still have to see the Marvels.
I saw that last night. You know what? I'll talk about that if you want. I've
heard it's good. I've heard it's good. Like,
I've heard it's a fun girls' road trip movie in space.
That is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm okay with.
And honestly, one of the funniest films I've seen from Marvel since Ragnarok. There's some actually laugh out loud moments because of what's her name? Miss Marvel she's fantastic in this.
Oh yeah, I love her. Her show was okay. So her show was good. But I had the problem with it where they had to make it another end of the world scenario, and I wish they hadn't. I wish they had
this
really.
This doesn't do that, thankfully.
Thank God. Not everything needs to be the end of the world. I understand you feel like you have to keep upping the stakes, but they need to remember they're in the build stage again. Not everything needs to be end of the world. Mm-hmm. And because in the Miss Marvel show, it's really good, but because I loved the this is an origin story feel that it had. Like, this was an origin story for her. She is a young, like, Palestinian American girl, like, in a Palestinian American neighborhood, and she faces like all these different things. Like, she has like problems at school, and she has like one of the major themes in the show is that the fact that it's clearly a brown girl is this new superhero has brought new scrutiny upon their area, because like it's in the area, it's a Palestinian neighborhood. They like the
I thought it was
government
Pakistani.
Pakistani.
I think it is Pakistani.
Yeah, sorry, Pakistani. No, that's what I meant. It's because Palestine's been in the news so much.
No, you're good.
We get you.
Yeah, Pakistani. I'm so sorry.
I'd rather correct you than the commenters correct you.
Yes. Thank you. My brain is stuck on Palestine right now for understandable reasons. Pakistani neighborhood. And so the government agency that's like trying to track down vigilantes and things like that immediately zeroes in on her neighborhood and starts like harassing like the mosque and things like that. And like that I felt was plot enough. And like her like exploring like her ancestry and like learning like, hey, I'm actually from like part of my ancestry is like a race of interdimensional beings, like a different dimension. Like, that's great. That's fine. But then they had like the other interdimensional like people being like, we want to bring the dimension here. No, even though it will kill Earth. And I'm like, you didn't need to do that. You had enough plot already. I feel like this plot here was great with it just being very origin story, very like neighborhood centric. It's just like Spider-Man gets plenty of content out of just, protecting Queens or Brooklyn or, like you don't need to make everything end of the world.
Marvel CEO is just sitting there going, but more comic things.
End of world. And I'm like, no, please stop. So I'm really glad to hear that the Marvels didn't have to make it another end of the world scenario, because it doesn't always need to be the end of the world.
It's tired. It's a tired thing that Marvel
kind of girls trip movie, and it fixed every problem I had with the first Captain Marvel, which is that she's great, but needs a really good foil, and they give it to her.
Oh yeah, she needed a foil, because a character like that without a foil becomes grating. She's a great character, but she needs a foil. And having Miss Marvel and Monica Rambeau, like it was
perfect. Yeah, it really works.
Yeah, because Monica Rambeau, fantastic, wonderful character, love her as well. So.
I also wanted to see it because I've heard like it's gonna make like no money, and like Marvel's gonna get the wrong lesson from this.
Yeah,
I don't want them to say no more female superhero movies. I'm like, I'm going to see this right away.
Yeah, I need to take some time to go see it, because I do want to support it.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I'll go see it in a theater, and like I know I'm seeing Killers of the Flower Moon this week. I have not watched it yet.
I haven't either. But it's awesome though.
I'm going to I'll probably go to the Marvels a little after that. But I plan on going.
Definitely don't pull threads on this one. This is one of those where they're like, everything's fun and hilarious, but if you literally pull any thread, house cards.
As long as it's silly enough,
It's very silly.
As long as it's silly enough, I don't need to pull threads. But like with the second Ant-Man movie, there was like a really serious underplot going on, and that serious underplot was why I had to pull threads. Because I was like,
I get it.
But how? You're not silly enough for me to ignore this.
The fangirling moments are some of the best moments where like Miss Marvel will literally keep trying to name the characters and name their team, and they're all just like, no, stop it, quit it. What about no? I said quit it.
I'm looking up her name so we don't just keep calling her Miss Marvel.
That's probably fair.
Kamala
Khan is the character's name.
Oh, Kamala Khan.
Yeah. I don't know the actress's name.
No, I don't either.
I mean, she's relatively new.
Yeah.
She's perfect, though. She, like, literally is the character.
Iman Vellani.
Yeah. I think she does a fantastic job. They really cast her well. Riley, when you go to see Miss Marvel, do you want to go together? We can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, let's do a girls' movie date.
Yeah.
Let me know how you think of it, because I loved it. I can't believe people didn't love it, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. Just let me know. We can plan something.
Yeah, we can go to the.
I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Love it.
Yeah, the girls' movie night. We'll go see Captain Marvel, and it'll be wonderful. Miss Marvel. The Marvels.
Brie Larson sticks around.
There's lots of Marvels.
Yes,
there's lots of Marvels, and that's literally a running joke in the film.
Yeah.
You're Marvel. You're Professor Marvel. No, I didn't agree to that.
Because like I like Brie Larson. Like I don't have problems with Brie Larson. I just think the internet hates her, and she gets a lot of hate. And in her own movie, she needs a foil. Like the character, it does not work great on its own, but it was never really intended to be a character all on its own, like Captain Marvel's kind of always been a character that had a team or had a sidekick or had, like, you don't see a lot of Captain Marvel just Captain Marveling, it's always, and then Captain Marvel shows up and we already have like a whole cast of characters.
That's the other thing I liked about what this movie did is Captain Marvel's clearly the most powerful person in the MCU. Yeah. And they did a really fun way of kind of dampering that so it didn't have to be the obvious, well, why wouldn't she just win? And that's that every time they use their powers, it's in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. They switch places. So every time she tries to do something, she has to worry about sending Kamala Khan into a place that might kill her. And so that was like pretty clever way of dealing with that.
Yeah. That is really clever. I like that.
She in the trailer, like she punches something and then they switch places and then she's like in a room.
Yeah. Because I think they had a lot of trouble trying to figure out what to do with Captain Marvel once they made her, because she is so powerful that you like immediately are like, okay, well, why doesn't she fix it? It's like, okay, well, she's been in space. All right. Okay, cool. But now she's back. Why isn't she fixing everyone's problems? I think what they need to do is
she's in space for mysterious reasons.
Yeah,
exactly.
She's just in space,
She's mysterious.
Sometimes you're in space, and people can't get to you. I think what we may see, which I think would be really interesting, is once we do get the introduction of the X-Men, like officially, maybe we'll see a rogue take down Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, scenario. Because that's how Rogue gains her super strength and ability to fly in the comics, is she stole them from Captain Marvel. Yeah, because she, when she was working with Mystique, for a while, like before she ended up with the X-Men, she was trying to stop a plane that Captain Marvel was flying. And she, did what she did, which was grab on to Captain Marvel and just hold on, trying to make Captain Marvel pass out. But like Captain Marvel was so like powerful that she just kept refusing to pass out. Essentially, she was just like, no. And Rogue's like, please just give in. And Captain Marvel's like, no. And she puts Captain Marvel into a coma. And then then Captain Marvel is in a coma for a really long time because she's actually living inside Rogue's head, but Rogue now has super strength and can fly because of Captain Marvel.
That would be really cool.
Yeah. Because that was one of the things that, like, the original movies never really, the original X-Men movies never really touched, was like the possibility that Rogue has that she can literally take somebody's power forever, or seemingly forever. But to do it, she either has to put them in a coma and until they wake up, it's hers, or she has to kill them and then it's hers forever.
Siler and Heroes some shit.
Exactly, yeah. Like, she has the ability to do that. But it was never covered in the original X-Men movies because, you know,
kind of OP, really.
Yeah, it's super OP. But at the same time, it's a character who deals with a lot of bullshit. Like, she can't touch people, you know, like, yeah. But I would love to see, perhaps that is how we solve the why isn't Captain Marvel fixing every problem in the MCU in the future she got put into a coma by Rogue.
We can't have her code switching forever.
Yeah, some weird teenager put her in a coma. We need to figure that out. How did this weird teenager put, like, the most powerful being in the universe in a coma?
So, Riley, what have you been watching or playing?
I have been playing Street Fighter 6.
Oh, how's it?
And I have been having a gay old time. It's so accessible in terms of, like, if you're not even good at Street Fighter or any fighting game, because it actually has a campaign mode where it has like a 3-dimensional space where your character can walk around and challenge people to fights.
Oh, is that the car punching? Like, you can just punch people on the sidewalk thing?
You can just punch, like, I do Chun-Li's spinning bird kick into people all the time. Let's go spinning bird kick, and I, like, destroy a bunch of stuff and get some loot, and then I sometimes just kick people, and we challenge each other to a fight, because that's how people settle disputes in this game. It's like friendly fisticuffs. It's like it's like some of the, like, it's just like side missions. A lot of the side missions deal with learning, like, the basic mechanics of the game, so it, like, helps train you. You switch out fighting styles depending on the fighters you meet, and you can over time you can customize and add more, like, special moves into your thing along with those specific styles. And it's just fun, and it's like, it makes me, like, it really teaches you how to play the game correctly in a way that doesn't feel, exhausting or tiresome or boring. And the story mode is fun. And also, Ken is a construction worker. He's like, I'm a construction worker now. I'm like, but I want you to train me. But I'm a construction worker now.
Hi, Ken.
I see that you're not going to give up.
Hi, Barbie.
Or Blanca is this tourist person, but the real I'm trying to think what the right word is. Blanca, the green eel electric guy. And it's just like, he should be a tourist attraction in and of himself, but there's this legendary, like, mysterious being that dresses just like Blanca that is actually the area's most the prized attraction. It's not Blanca, it's the person dressed as Blanca that challenges you to fights.
That's good.
It's just a very silly game, and I enjoy the hell out of it. But yes.
I love a game that does not take itself too seriously when it doesn't need to. And Street Fighter's never needed to take itself seriously, so I'm glad it's not.
Yeah. No,
it's about fighting people in the street. Like, you don't need to make it.
There's this gang of people that wear cardboard boxes on their heads. And so it's less like, so it's just like half the time where I'm going into their territory, I'm just doing my spinning bird kick. It's like, kicking them, challenge, and like there's like this mini game on the subway where it's just like you spend time on the subway and just fight people, and it's a silly game, and I kind of love it, and it's fun while teaching you how to use the game's combat system over time, and yeah, that's Street Fighter 6.
Sounds good.
It is.
Yeah, it sounds good.
I've heard mixed things about the Mortal Kombat, so I'm glad that one's good.
Oh, and you customize your main character. Like, it has a really in-depth custom character creator.
I love that. I love a good custom character creator.
You know, like, so it's like I'm like this like 6'3" ripped, like purple-haired lady with like whose proportions as far as like legs and body are a little bit out of sync. Like, there's a bit too much body with that amount of leg. but it's Street Fighter, so character creation goes against the laws of physics, a lot of the time, laws of human anatomy. So whatever.
Anything goes.
Yes.
Reminds me of Ark. Did you ever play Ark? It was the dinosaur game.
I know about Ark. I never played it.
It's the custom creation version of a hell.
Yeah, it is hilarious what you can turn yourself into in Ark. I've never played, but I've seen the things people have done, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, my character was Legman, so I made him completely anorexic from the waist up and just all legs.
Oh, that reminds me of in Conan, you can I'm not sure if this was because we had mods on the server we were playing on, or if it was just because like what you could do with the character creator normally. Everyone made like fun characters, like these are like standard, humanish characters. These could reasonably exist. And then one of our friends made this terrifying monster man who was like magenta. And like he was like this small, like at the waist, and like this big at the chest, and and he had like these massive legs, and it was just like you would have all of us standing, and then he would walk in, and we're like, everyone would be like, "Have you seen Dylan yet?" And we're like, "What? No. Well, what did Dylan do?" And then Dylan walks in, and we're like, "Oh my god." You are a monstrosity, sir.
What have you done?
What have you done? What is this magenta menace you've brought into our party?
Perfect. I just love in-depth character creators like that, where you just make just like the most out there creations. I always respect that.
Yeah. I love when they're like, this destroys the way the character moves, but you can do it anyway. Mm-hmm. Which, if people have never watched it, I really recommend. Monster. Oh, what's it called? God, my brain this morning.
Monsters Incorporated.
No, the McElroys.
Oh, the McElroys thing. What's it called?
Monster
Creator or something like that.
Yeah, Monster. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. Because this is something Bevan and I watch all the time because it's so funny. I love the McElroys
stuff. It's great.
Yeah.
They also do a comedy D&D podcast, and it's fantastic.
Yes. Yeah, Monster Factory. It's called Monster Factory. Yeah, I my brain kept saying Monster Machine, and I'm like, that is so wrong.
I mean, you're close.
Yeah, I was close. Monster Factory, it's great. They test the limits of a character creator. Basically just picking, I think they might have done a Street Fighter one actually. But just making ridiculous characters and then setting them out into the world. And it's at its best when it is a multiplayer game and other people get to see their horrible creations.
It's pretty great.
Yeah. One of my favorite ones was when they did what's it called? It's one of those the older like online life sims. Let me just look it up because
thinking. This is my thinking phase.
Okay, hold on. Monster Factory.
The premise
Second Life.
Second Life. Oh,
yeah.
God, I forgot about Second Life.
Their Second Life one is so funny. Yes, they did do a Street Fighter 6 one. And they made a Beefy Prince. Is creating a Beefy Prince in Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, their whole thing is like doing things that only piss off their other brothers to react.
Yeah.
It's great. Why would you do this?
But the Second Life one is so funny because like there's people still playing Second Life, which is wild to me because Second Life is been around forever. And so they show up in the game and like they've made these two monstrosities and they're like walking around trying to interact with people who have made completely normal characters. And I believe Griffin is trying to become the boy mayor of Second Life. So he's campaigning to these real life humans trying to become the mayor of Second Life as this like tiny hideous man. Highly recommend if you've never watched it.
Good.
So good. It's so good. And it really pushes character creators to its limits.
With that, what do you think the best character creator is? And or worst, if it's just hilarious. Arc is probably the worst I've seen.
I used to really enjoy the Saints Row character creator.
Yeah. That one was kind of bonkers. Yeah.
Yeah, you could do a lot of really funny stuff. Because like it could be like, oh, depending on which one, you're an alien? Cool. Here's everything you need to be an alien. Love that for me. Yeah, I enjoyed the Saints Row one.
Baldur's Gate 3 is probably my favorite so far.
I haven't gotten to play it yet, but I have watched people play.
I've heard its character creator is insane.
You could spend way too long there.
I always spend way too long in character creator.
I feel like I'm not very creative with my character creator because my character creator is usually tall, buff girl, purple hair. And then I'm done.
I think there's a sign you need to dye your hair purple.
This might be a sign.
The universe.
This might be a sign that I do need it. I've been doing that since Bloodborne.
Yeah, I think you might need purple hair. I think it looks so cute.
I think I turned my character into David Bowie on accident, and so I had to call him David Bowie. He's a bard that wants to sleep with everyone. Oh God, he's David Bowie.
I usually whenever I'm making like a character and a character creator, I think I have the most fun when they allow you to do like scars and stuff like that. Cause like I love scarring up a character, like, cause I don't know, I feel like it adds such, like you could like make stories in your head about like how they got that scar or whatever, because like with, you know, just like building a character, it's like, okay, I built a person, but like as soon as you can start putting scars on them, it's like, oh, how did they get that scar? How did they lose their eye? You know, like why are they blind in that eye? And I like to get in my head about it.
Gabe knows why his character is blind in an eye.
I let a bard do eye surgery on me.
Oh yeah.
The worst part about that is there's like 6 times you can stop him. It's like goes in with scalpel. I'm like, no, this is cool. Goes in with giant ass drill. No, this is cool. Takes a hacksaw. I'm like, wait, what? Everyone in the campaign was just horrified, like, stop!
I don't think you're fixing it.
The guy's like, oh, oops, sorry.
Did I tell you about how you can accidentally have clown sex in Baldur's Gate 3?
I think you did.
You might have.
I think you did.
Okay. I just want to make sure we're not repeating, because that is one of the funniest things in Baldur's Gate 3 for me.
Accidental clown sex.
Accidental clown sex, yep.
The funniest thing we've encountered so far, other than just stupid hijinks, is we were in a prison break, and one of our characters who's decided to ward into being a cat, and instead of doing what we were supposed to doing in a prison break brawl fight, we're like, where's Robert? I'm being a car. I am in the walls. I found a mouse and I'm hunting him down. He just did this for like an hour. We're like, what are you doing?
We're trying to break out of this prison, but I'm a cat.
And then we see him later in the fight as a cat, just like looking down. No, you're not helping.
I feel like Baldur's Gate 3, it really is capturing the essence of being in a D&D game. Like, Because that's the kind of bullshit that happens in a D&D game. Like, you're trying to escape a prison, and your DM's like, all right, these are the things that happen. And then one character's like, I transform into a cat. All right, is there a plan here? No, I transform into a cat. Okay, what are you going to do? I go and look for a mouse.
I'm a cat. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Doing kitty cat things.
I'm doing kitty cat things.
It's like, so you're going to sneak in and get the keys for us? Oh, no. No. Nothing helpful.
No, I just wanted to be a cat. Yeah.
This is the problem with having a campaign with 4 other trolls.
Yeah. It's what happens. And then the DM just like, all right, you're a cat. What do? I'm in the walls.
Yeah, I'm in the walls. And mouse hunting.
Mouse hunting. All right, well, while the rest of the party's escaping this prison, you're in the walls hunting a mouse.
There's another pretty funny bit. I think the game glitches out, but it's like Lizelle is like the green demon lady, and she's always like asking you for stuff. But at one point, the game would crash every time, and she's like, "Show me the thing," and everyone's like, "You show her your thing again, and the game's gonna crash. It's your fault." So every time you go into the room, and she's like, "Please show me your thing," Robert's like, "No." Sexual assault crashes the game, Gabe.
Oh,
it's great. It's a great time. It's up there with, I think, Zelda right now for me for Game of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably soon be going back to play Cyberpunk because I hear that the update, like, it's finally the game it was supposed to be. And I have a friend who's been playing it, and they've been having a great time. And
can confirm it's fantastic now.
Yeah, because I wanted to play Cyberpunk, but then as soon as the reviews started coming out of this game is fucking broken, I was like, I don't have time for a broken game in my life right now.
I'm already broken.
Exactly.
I don't need the game to be broken too.
I don't need the game's help with this.
I just want to play the game. I don't want to have to fuck around with the game because it's broken. I don't have the time. I'm already trying to fix me,
Yeah, they revamped the whole, it's kind of impressive what they've done with it. They revamped the entire system. Which, I don't know, that's there's only 2 games I can think of that have come from this far behind and fixed it. This and No Man's Sky.
Yeah. And so I think I'll probably be picking that up. I just know once I start playing it, I'm not going to want to stop. Mm-hmm. So, I'm wondering if I wait until Christmas, because I have, the day before Christmas Eve through New Year's Day off, because I took some extra time off. So I have a big chunk of time where I'm taking off, but I'm not doing anything. I'm not I have no plans. So maybe I'll wait till then to get it, because I know once I start playing, it's going to be an obsession. So I might wait. And also there might be a sale around Christmas. So
likely. The DLC I've heard is good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it as well. And I mean, I tried playing it at launch, and it was you could tell there was a good game in there.
Yeah.
But wow, it was an experience.
Yeah, it's funny. I never had the really bad glitches and stuff. So for me, it was like a comedy. All the glitches I had were hilarious. Like cars that drove in circles and ran over pedestrians and things.
And I don't mind glitches like that, but I knew there was also game-breaking ones, and I knew that if I hit a game-breaking glitch, I would have been so upset. I've had that happen to me before in a game, and
I must have gotten lucky because I beat the game and I never had that.
Yeah,
I've had people fall out of the sky.
I've had 2 games where I had game-breaking glitches. I think one I've talked about before, which was Skyrim. Bevan had put a bunch of mods in, and his mods, something happened with his mods that affected my save. And suddenly my character was a werewolf, and I was constantly transforming into a werewolf with the whooshing sound that happens when you transform into a werewolf, just constantly. So I couldn't hear anything. It was just whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And I'm like, I cannot play this game. And it was the first time I had really started to do the story instead of just fucking around. I had actually made progress on the story. And I was like, you broke it. And I was actually doing the story for once. I was progressing and you it's broken. And so like I didn't play Skyrim for a really long time because of that. And then the other game that was broken was partially my fault. Was KOTOR, KOTOR 2, I think. One of the KOTOR games.
KOTOR 2 has issues.
Yeah, I think it was KOTOR 2, where like you could get mods to like help unlock things that like were partially finished that then people went and finished. And I had done that, so I had like some unlockable stuff that like was unlocked. And so, you know, the fact that this then later happened is probably my fault. But I got to like the ending of the game, and you like go to this planet and you're supposed to like fight these people. But I went there and there was just nothing there. And nothing got triggered. And I'm just wandering around this empty, like snowy planet. I'm like, so what's going on? I can just keep walking and nothing's happening. And so like I was at the end of the game and I could never beat it because my save was corrupted. Like I every time I went to that ending cutscene.
Yeah, I've heard people had trouble finishing that one because of errors like that.
Yeah, it's just you go there and nothing happens, and I'm like,
it's like it gave you the 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yes, yeah.
Like, if you think about this in an artistic, esoteric way, this is what the game's narrative means. You're in a world where nothing happens.
There is no resolution because in life there isn't always a resolution.
And
I think I had an ending like that. It was Fallout New Vegas. That was what it was. I finished the game with one of the endings, and then I went to do another one, and you're supposed to be able to talk your way down from a certain thing to, what is it, the big bad of the game. And I walk in the room, and he starts shooting me, and I'm like, I might have done this to myself.
I successfully talked him down, because I always do, like, high charisma characters, and because I love talking my way out of a situation. I get such a thrill out of it in a game, is being like, this is gonna escalate. No, it's not. Let's talk this out, you and me.
Yep. That's what I do in Baldur's Gate all the time. It's great.
Yeah, it's so fun. It's so fun turning this is gonna be a fight to. Does it have to be though? Maybe not.
There's a part where this lady wants to like test a surgery thing on somebody, and we're like, but would it be better if you tested it first? She's like, I don't know, but I can do it for you. Like open heart surgery on this lady.
I just love the turnaround. I love being able to talk your way out of something.
And it's not like a story mission. It was just like a random person.
Yeah. Oh, it's so fun. But yeah, I love games that give me the option to talk my way out of a situation, because you can always fuck it up and then you don't. But I like the option to be able to be like, okay, wait.
It's almost funnier when you get most of the way there and then fuck it up.
then fuck it up and you're like, damn, I was doing so good. And then suddenly it's a gunfight, and you're like, all right.
This is my Baldur's Gate campaign in a nutshell, what you're describing.
The time for talking is done.
I tried to convince these guys I was a god. They bought it a little bit, and now they want me dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had that meeting like this week. I was like, have I done anything this week before we did this podcast? So like Friday, I was like, let's watch Loki and the Marvels, and then I'll have done something this week.
No, I'm with you on that. I've mostly been listening to music. I've listened to the new Dying Wish album. They're a relatively new band. They're kind of are a mix of like if you mix Knocked Loose with Killswitch Engage.
Okay. I wasn't familiar with that.
Yeah, their new album's really good. I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's their second LP. What's it called? Symptoms of Survival is a hardcore, metalcore, deathcore hybrid of awesomeness. That's packs a punch. Like the riffs feel dirty and rough. The vocals are intense, but also some of the clean singing ones and even a ballad just are like beautifully sung. So yes, recommend that so damn highly.
I just think it's funny that it sounds like the intro of that description was written by a 13-year-old trying to be cool.
Yeah, well, I'm mentally a 13-year-old that's always trying to be cool.
It's like hardcore, metalcore, deathcore, core.
This is core.
Cringe core.
It's like Oakley Dokley. Cringe core.
This is a strange pull because we're no longer in spooky season, but for me, spooky season continues until Thanksgiving. So
love it.
I'm okay with this.
I'm just gonna recommend that if anybody hasn't heard them, look up the Brian David Gilbert, the BDG, Halloween songs that are also parodies of ABBA songs. He has an entire album that is just ABBA songs that are now monster songs.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
That's great.
Give Me a Man After Midnight is a Frankenstein song.
Oh.
It's a wonderful album. And I put it on when I'm sad because it's so funny.
Love it.
Yeah. So if you're ever feeling down, look up BDG's ABBA parodies or remixes or Halloween inspired retakes. It's so funny. There's a Dracula one, there's a Frankenstein one, there's a werewolf one, there's a mummy one. Just all ABBA songs that are now about monsters.
That's great.
Yeah, I just sometimes when I'm working and I'm just like feeling just kind of like blah that day, I'll put that on and I'm like, you know what? Yeah.
That's how I feel about Jonathan Colton.
Oh, sometimes there's just the music you put on when you need a little lift me up, and for me, it's the ABBA monster songs.
Another album I've been listening to a lot is by The Lion's Daughter, which is an awkward name, admittedly, but I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's one of my favorite albums of the year that I don't remember the name to.
While you're looking, I can hear my dog sniffing under the door, trying to get in. Like when I'm recording, I close the door and, try to make the room more soundproof. And she's right now at the door underneath it going,
oh,
trying to smell me through the door.
I can smell you.
Yeah, she's like, I know you're in there.
Bathhouse is Lion's Daughter Bathhouse. They're a horror-themed metal band. Oh. They're kind of like a combination. They sound like a combination of like a more like Mastodon, but with some more extreme metal elements and a lot of 80s synth.
Ooh,
very interesting combo.
Yeah, and it's one of my favorite albums of the year, and it just, it has a mixture of heavy, melodic, and just like with that background of synth, and like the riffs are punchy, they hit hard, the clean vocals are good, and it's a good combination of a lot of styles of metal that I like, and it's such a damn good album. That's all I can really say about it.
Sounds good though.
I heard. Wick. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say Jeff Rosenstock. I don't know if anyone's familiar, but he put out a new album. It was very, very good. He's a punk rocker guy.
Mm-hmm.
It was Hell Mode or something like that. It's very good.
Is it Hell?
Is it Mode?
I mean, I hope so. It's not.
It is. If it's not, it is Hell.
A quick game recommendation that I just remembered because you said 80s synth. I played, I think since the last time we've talked, I've played this game called Killer Frequency, which is a lot of fun. So it is a game where you play as a radio DJ that is DJing overnight on a night where there is a serial killer attacking the town. And the first place hit is the police station, and the 911 dispatcher has to go and get help. So as the radio DJ, you like she asks you like, can you run the 911 line while I'm gone? Because like you're the only person in this town who knows how to like run a phone system essentially, because it's a really small town, and like as the radio DJ you take calls and stuff like that. So they're like, you're literally the only person I could think to ask right now in the middle of the night. I need to go 2 towns over to get help, you know, like, can you be the 911 operator? And you're like, if there's no one else, I guess so. And so you play most of the game in your radio station, like in the radio station, like you go outside it a couple times. But the main premise of the game is that people are calling in for help while this serial killer is after them. And you're trying to help them over the phone by doing various things. But you're also like investigating the mystery as you do it, trying to figure out who the serial killer is. And it's a lot of fun. Like, it is a very fun game. I really enjoyed it. And I just, there's a lot of like 80s synth music. So that's why it made me think of it when you said 80s synth.
Makes sense.
Because you're also running a radio show as you're doing all this. Because like you're still like running the radio show and like putting on albums and like playing ads, and it just made me flash back to my radio DJ days. I
was thinking I used to do that. That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's a very cool game. It's called Killer Frequency. I really enjoyed it. It's a very cool concept. Like, I don't think they could do it again because like the novelty. It's the novelty itself, you know. But yeah, it's well done.
Sounds fun. I'm short, I'm assuming.
Yeah, pretty short. I think I completed it in, I think, like a day or two, you know, like not very long. And I think it also depends on if you're trying to save everyone, you know, like there's a way to like complete the game super, super fast. And it's just, you don't save anyone.
The bug snacks problem.
Yeah. Like, you can beat this game real fast if you just fail at everything. Just absolutely fail at everything.
I love that.
Yeah.
Just like, well, the game's over. Did you do anything? No, I did not.
No, I didn't do anything.
My action was inaction.
Yeah, I chose to do nothing, and the game's over. All right. So yeah, it kind of depends on how much of a perfectionist you are, whether you're trying to save everybody, and you don't really know, like, first time playing through or first time watching it, like what your decisions are going to do. It is really good at, for the most part, like giving you the tools you need to save everybody. Like, it's not one of those games where the decisions feel arbitrary. Like, you'll look back, like if you do get someone killed, you look back and you're like, oh, I see why that decision was not the right one. Like, it's not where you look back and you're like, that's completely arbitrary. Like, one of the very first deaths that can happen in the game is the 911 dispatcher asks what weapon she should take with her when she's trying to escape, because she has like the sheriff, one of the police officers who's unconscious with her, and if you suggest the wrong weapon, it gets the unconscious police officer killed. But there's like there's 3 different weapons you can pick. You can pick a taser, you can pick mace, and you can pick a baton. And like, in this specific scenario, only one of those is going to work. But you don't know what the scenario is up until like it happens. So it's like, but in theory, you have the tools you need to like figure it out. So like, for instance, you know, the killer wears a mask. So like, mace, bad idea. They're wearing a mask. You can't mace someone who's wearing a mask. Like, that's not gonna work. So like, don't choose mace. A baton, if you're like carrying someone else, which you are, because like the other person is unconscious, isn't going to be really helpful, because like, how are you going to do anything with a baton when you're like supporting somebody else? So like, or like, you know, like, it's a distance thing. Like, you have to get really close to hit with a baton. So like, the answer and
taser.
Yeah,
it's gotta make sense.
Yeah, the answer ends up being taser, and so like it makes sense. And so like, if you pick the wrong one in that first scenario, the police officer dies. But it's like, when you look back, you're like, oh, I see why taser was the correct answer. You know, like, it's not arbitrary. So like that's a lot of the things with the game where like it gives you the tools you need to get to the right answer. You may not get there, but the tools are there, and I really appreciate that, because a lot of games where, you know, like the games with the choices that were really big a while ago, where they had like all the mocap actors and stuff.
You're talking about like the Heavenly Rain and not Heavenly Rain. What's it called? The Detroit Become Human and stuff like that.
Yeah, like kind of Detroit Become Human, or the Dead by Dawn. Like those ones.
Those ones.
Yeah.
Interactive.
Yeah, like those ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, the interactive movie ones.
Sorry, I was like.
I was just gonna say, like, a lot of the choices in those are kind of arbitrary. On like, you pick something and you have no way to know when you're picking, like, what it's gonna do down the line. Which, like, you know,
Until Dawn.
Until Dawn. That's what it is. Yeah, Until Dawn. Yeah, so it's like you pick something and it affects something way down the line, or like, you know, sometimes they make sense, but other times it's completely arbitrary. It's like, you know, you did this 3 chapters ago and now this person dies, and it's like, I need no way to know that. That's completely arbitrary.
Detroit Become Human in a nutshell.
Yeah.
That's a huge Detroit Become Human problem.
Yeah. And so, you know, like with Killer Frequency, all the choices that you make, like, it really does make sense why they lead to the conclusions that they do. So I have to give it props for that.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, I really recommend it.
Great. I didn't know, was there anything else that we had to add?
I don't know. Did you have something?
I did not. I was just kind of curious.
I could say some things I've read.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So I've read 2 different graphic novels from a writer that I really love. One is called Bad Karma, and the other is called Parasocial.
I think you talked about one of these, maybe?
Yeah, I talked about one of them, I think. Both by Alex DeCampi, both fantastic. I probably talked about Parasocial last time. But Bad Karma, it used to be online, and then it got a physical release. The physical release just came out this month. Super good. Really recommend it if you love, because it's kind of like a it's a bit of a buddy road trip comic, and it's about trying to ex mercenaries trying to save a man who's been convicted to death row for a murder that they committed for the government as mercenaries. And so they're like, we know he didn't do it because we did it, but no one believes us, and now we're on a road trip to try and save his life. And it's really fun. It's a really and also, as everything with this author, like, it has a lot of like political commentary in it, and it's good. It's a wild road trip ride of, let's go save a man's life because he's only on death row because he got blamed for the murder that we committed. So yeah, highly recommend. It's really good.
I did watch Gen V. I don't know if I talked about that, but that's, if anyone likes The Boys.
Yeah. It's
the spin-off college university show for the boys. It's really, really good.
I've been meaning to watch it.
It's what you think it would be in the best way.
Okay. I'll have to watch it because I do like The Boys. It's one of the shows I can't watch with Bevan, though, because he gets too depressed.
This is still dark. It fits with the themes you'd expect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's one character that when he freaks out, he sees people as puppets. And there is the most glorious murder rampage on puppets I've ever seen. It's so good.
Oh,
he's like, it's not murder because you're a puppet. And everyone's like, oh God, no.
It just reminds me, there was an episode of Angel where like everyone got turned into puppets.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember that.
That's what it makes me think of. And like, you know, they were still filming it like it was people. And then like he's like fighting a monster as a puppet.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of violent puppets being ripped apart.
Yeah. Oh, puppets underutilized. More puppets,
really
please.
More puppets.
Like Jason Ritter, the actor, has an appearance as one of the puppets at one point. And you're like, shut up, puppet, Jason Ritter. So I'd highly recommend. I just finished it, and it ends really well.
Okay.
It's definitely on my list. I've been looking at it like, do I have the time? I finished our Flag Means Death season 2.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it's a good season. It's good. Highly recommend. Yeah, it's good. I won't spoil anything. It was very good though. I enjoyed it a lot.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it. I love that show. I mean, I know I'll like it.
Yeah.
Just adding all these to my list of I need to watch stuff. I need to watch more stuff.
Our Flag Means Death especially is very for you.
Yeah, you would love it.
Okay.
It's a gay pirate romance comedy. It's fantastic.
How can you? Those are all selling points. Like
yeah.
In that thing is a selling point.
So good. It's so good. It's such a good time. And now that the second season's out, because the first season has like such a heartbreaking cliffhanger, but like the second season, now that it's out, you don't break your heart. I mean, you break your heart still, but it's not break your heart and then wait a year. It's break your heart and then let's continue watching.
Yeah. I always like it when that happens.
Yeah, and the second season has like a good wrap up. I don't know if they're doing a third season. I'm not certain, but if they don't, the second season ends in a good way. So like,
they may not know,
Yeah, they may not know. So I think they made sure they had a good ending. But it's a good wrap up. But it still has, the potential for more. So
I hope they do. I really enjoy it.
Oh yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
And I remember last time they waited till Gay Pride Month to renew the show for season 2. I'm like, that was a good promotion.
Yeah. One of the funniest things from season 1 is, so I won't say who, but there's a specific character who you think dies, and so up until season 2, like the entire cast kept like, talking about filming and how much fun they're having and how they miss this actor so much. Like, we're so sad that blank isn't here with us. And, like they were taking all these pictures specifically without him in it to be like, yeah, the character's dead. And like the entire time you're like, I know he's not dead. He is clearly not dead. You would not be trolling this much if he was actually not on the show. It was so funny. Like every time they posted anything, it was like, man, if only blank were here. And it's like, you assholes. He's totally there. He's like just out of frame, I'm sure.
Yeah, that reminds me of the Jon Snow thing. Everyone's like, shut up. We all know.
Yeah.
We all know Jon Snow is not dead. He still has plot important stuff he has to do.
He's under contract. Shut up.
Yeah. Well, and it's like one of those things where like the character, like you don't specifically see the character die, and that's how you like know, like you're 90% certain he's not dead because like you didn't see him die. Like, the likelihood of him surviving this pretty slim. However, you didn't see him die, and that is so important in a show.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's always like, did I see it happen though? No.
Yeah.
Well, then I can't trust what the movie is telling me if it doesn't show me.
Yeah. Because
I also love that the show is based on some real fact, and that the gentleman pirate really existed, and there was really a rumor he was gay lovers with Blackbeard. Like,
well, because he and Blackbeard did sail together. Like Blackbeard came and took over his ship, but like not in like an aggressive way. It was just like, you're bad at this. I'm gonna run your ship, and so like that really happened. And so, like, that's what the story is based on, the fact that really happened. There's a bunch of other stuff completely factually inaccurate, like timelines and a bunch of other stuff. But, like, it's based on the fact that, yes, the gentleman pirate Steed Bonnet and Blackbeard sailed together because Blackbeard thought Steed was incredibly incompetent. And Steed was like, okay, you run my ship. And Blackbeard's like, all right, sure. Why not? And so that's where this show comes from.
Him and Taika Waititi playing Blackbeard is so fun.
Yeah, it's so good. And he and Rhys Darby have such good chemistry together.
Yeah. I love Rhys Darby. I don't know if anyone's watched Flight of the Conchords, but he's great in that show.
I've seen a few things and heard a few songs.
I just recently rewatched the original vampire show.
What They Do in the Shadows?
What They Do in the Shadows. I just rewatched the original movie. And because I watched it a long time ago. And I didn't even realize at the time that Rhys Darby was the head of the werewolves that's in that. Yeah, like he's the pack leader of the werewolves. And so like going back and watching it, being like, oh, it's Rhys Darby.
I've never seen the show, but the movie's so fucking funny.
Yeah, I recommend the show. It's a lot of fun. Both are very good, and they're good in different ways. But like they have the same spirit, I would say.
I love the Taika Waititi character in the movie just trying to like suck people's blood, and he just always opens up an artery and kills them immediately. He's like, "Oh God, I'm so sorry."
Apparently there was a like the blood cleanup scene, like where he's cleaning up after one of those. Apparently they did that for like 15 minutes. Like just had him like there's a cut where it's just him doing that for 15 minutes trying to clean up the blood, and eventually they cut it down in the movie. But there's like a version you can see where it's just him like just trying to fix it and freaking out for like 15 minutes.
I like that Taika's free of Marvel now. I think he's better suited to do his own thing. Yeah.
And well, you know, like Ragnarok, fantastic.
Oh, it's great.
Oh yeah. Love and Thunder was fun and I liked it, but like I feel like it was a little too Taika. And because Ragnarok did so well, they're like, okay, Taika, you can basically do whatever you want. But you know, that becomes a problem when the story's a little bit more serious than Ragnarok was.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of serious shit happening in Love and Thunder, and it's like...
It reminds me of Ari Aster, the Midsummer Hereditary guy. I feel like he had the same issue. I don't know if I saw one of my final movies of October was Beau is Afraid or whatever.
Yeah.
This is another Taika Waititi man that needs to be given some constraints.
Yeah.
That movie is a 3-hour-long panic attack.
Yeah, like sometimes you just need constraints, and either you need constraints to fit into a box, or the box needs to not exist. And when like the box exists, but Taika's given no constraints, and he's just like, then it's a problem. When there is no box and he's just allowed to do what he wants, it's fine. So you know, I did still like Love and Thunder, but it definitely had some tonal issues.
Inconsistency.
Yeah.
Edited not well either.
Yeah. Like it could have been better. It's when you have, and you know, Taika likes to take the shit out of serious topics. Like that's what he does. However,
this was not that right film for that. Like
cancer
and you know, giant god killing monster
and children in danger, and you know, like it was a little bit tonally rough because if you're going into the movie immediately knowing, okay, this is gonna be spoofy, you know, like for instance, like a movie like Jojo Rabbit, where it's like, this is an incredibly serious topic. However, this child's imaginary friend is Hitler.
That movie proves he could have made a good Love and Thunder.
Yeah, exactly. Like if it had been done like Jojo Rabbit, he could have done it, but like it wasn't, and that was the problem. Yeah, because like Jojo Rabbit, incredibly serious topics and heartbreaking moments and things like that, but also like fucking silly as shit. And,
I mean, it's from a kid, it's from a child's perspective.
Yeah, and I think that was part of the problem, is that like the perspective we were getting it from, it didn't make sense for it to be as silly as it was, which made it tonally difficult.
And the hammer bit, like as much as I understand the comedy of it, like we pulled that one really a long time.
Yeah.
Would have been funny maybe once, twice.
But but it kept happening.
Stupid fucking hammer. Jealousy hammer.
Yeah. It was hitting us with a hammer.
You killed the horse. The horse is in pieces. Quit it.
I think other thing about Jojo Rabbit is that, like, you know, it shows, like, you know, how bigotry is, like, you know, if it was taken by its own thing. Like, it's nonsensical, and therefore it's like it can be laughed at. But then when it gets into actual like policy and actual like people, there's like a whole country believing this, and that's like scary as shit.
Yeah.
And that's kind of one thing that Jojo Rabbit kind of does well, I guess. That's why some of the humor works, because one, it's from the perspective of a child, and secondly, it's also like, well, you know, like bigotry is inherently without logic, and therefore there can be some humor in that. But if it's like you know, like a whole group of people that makes these beliefs, like a whole country of them, that it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does.
We needed more Gore, the villain, I think. More of him
Yeah.
actually
Gore was so
killing
good.
people would have
Yeah.
been.
Gore was such an underutilized good piece of
Gore was very wasted.
It was a great villain and a great performance.
Yeah. And, you know, I think that, like, I just wish Love and Thunder was better. I still liked it. I didn't hate it, but it could have been better. And, you know, we know Taika has the range. I feel like just nobody put some reins on him, and we're like, okay.
Yeah.
Tonal consistency is like, it's kind of like where you pull the threads. It's like tonal consistency is like a big thing for me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, I base on a movie like how I emotionally feel about it.
Yeah.
You know, like how do I connect with the art? And if it's something that's like as tonally inconsistent as Love and Thunder, I really cannot connect with it.
Yeah.
I've had thoughts about this, like how it would have fixed that movie, and it's like that whole Guardians thing. I don't think we needed that.
No,
like at all.
It was unnecessary. But then again, that movie was, by Marvel Cinematic Universe standards, Love and Thunder is really short.
It is
less than that, below 2 hours.
Yeah, so which is weird that it is such a short movie.
They could have cut that scene though, and they could have added a Gore killing gods montage that would have been really helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen a Gore killing gods montage.
That would have been so cool.
Or even more of the actual cancer scenes with Jane, so we could know this is serious shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's one of those films. I think we've all seemingly thought about this. Like, I like it. I wish it was better. This is what I would have liked.
I mean, I'm just more of I'm in the I don't like it camp, but there were things in it that were fun, but that movie shouldn't have entirely been fun, if that makes any sense.
No, it does.
Yeah. Yeah, tonally it had a big problem. And I feel like if things were handled differently, the tone wouldn't have been a problem. But like
I'm curious about I just saw a trailer for his new movie coming out on Friday, the Next Goal Wins thing about the worst soccer team in history. Like, that looks like a thing that he's gonna nail.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be perfect for him.
Team of dumb misfits having to do something seriously but can't. I'm like, yes, I think you can handle this.
Yeah, that's well within his range. Does not need anyone pulling the reins at all. He's got it.
Yeah, I gotcha. All right. Was there anything else y'all wanted to add?
I don't know. Yeah, what's a good ending piece? I can't think of anything right now.
Hamsters.
They're cute.
They're cute. They're cuddly. Don't let your cat get them.
Yes. My gerbil's also cute. Don't let your cat get them.
Go gerbil go. This stupid Stephen Lynch and ruining that forever for me. God.
That was in my head.
Richard Gere. There was talk of
all right. And on that note, we're going to end our podcast today. Thank you all so much for watching the Riley and Friends podcast. Please give us a like and subscribe. I'm going to plug my main channel, Biological Riley. Go give that a subscribe as well. And I was joined by Corinne and Gabe. And was there anything y'all wanted to plug at the end?
As always, I'll plug my podcast, Wham Bam Thank You Ma'am. We just released our season 2 premiere episode, which is the book Pirates of Alitheria by Brittany Jackson. If you like Our Flag Means Death. You will love this book. It is lesbian pirates. It is romantic tension. It is magic and dragons and found family on a pirate ship. It is wonderfully written. Fantastic book. I really enjoyed it. But go listen to our episode if you want to hear our thoughts on it. Mainly it's a lot of us being like, this book is so good, because we all loved it. It's excellent. Big Pirates of the Caribbean vibes if like Elizabeth Swann was the main character kind of situation. Like, yeah, like
I love that.
Yeah, very cool, very fun. And check out my podcast. Check out that book. It's really good. That's all I'll say.
Okay. And Gabe, you got anything to plug?
Yeah, I'll just say go watch The Marvels. It's female-fronted superheroes, and they need attention. We want more of these things.
And Riley and I will be going to see it sometime soon. So
yes,
be like us. Get a friend. Us. Go see it.
Get a friend if you don't have one.
Make friends and take them to the Marvels.
Take them to the Marvels, whether they like it or not.
Yeah. Force people to go to the Marvels. Kidnap them, put them in a van, show up in a movie theater.
Ask if they want popcorn.
Yeah. Make sure they have food and drink.
Endorsing this? Sure, why not?
Nothing I say is ever legally binding. Cannot be quoted in a court of law.
Not be quoted. Will not agree.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to add a disclaimer that says we do not condone kidnapping.
Do not condone kidnapping.
And it's gonna be at the very front of the video. The Riley Friends podcast does not condone kidnapping. Please do not kidnap people, even if you're going to a movie theater.
Even if it's really funny, don't kidnap people.
Yeah, even if it's like seriously funny, do not kidnap people. But maybe.
But on that note,
I have to cover our bases for any legal reason of if anyone thinks it's a good idea to kidnap someone, please don't. And with that, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Don't kidnap people.
Don't kidnap people.